Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. I am so excited to have sisters here with me today, Mallory and Shannon, and they are the founders and owners of Black Dog Bikinis. And I am so excited to have them here and to hear about their journey. And I'm going to turn it over to them and let them introduce themselves.
Cool. Thank you, Danielle. We're excited. My name is Mallory. I'm Black Dog Bikinis from Arizona. Went to school in DC and now living in California.
I'm
Great.
Shannon. I'm the younger sister. I'm 23 and I went to school in Florida and now living here with my dog Pretzel.
Pretzel. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. What
he's a
kind
little
of dog is
king.
Pretzel?
I actually just got his DNA testing done for Christmas, and so he's Chihuahua, small poodle, and Dachshund. But he looks like a little like terrier thing. He's curling up behind me as we speak.
I love that. I love that. I want to dive right into Black Dog Bikinis because I found you guys on TikTok and what an incredible business you guys have built. You found a need in the market in terms of swimwear that you weren't seeing, and your bathing suits are reversible, sustainable, and customizable, which I love. How did you come to what is the creation story of Black Dog Bikinis?
So it was so random. It was honestly so random. So it was during COVID. I was in grad school and Shannon was in undergrad, and our classes went online for the
Yeah.
pandemic. So we both moved back home with our parents. They had just downsized too, so like the house was so tiny. Um, so it was all four of us, and Shannon was in what was the class?
Installation art.
An installation art class. And so then when that went online, her professor ended up. Well, I guess you said it.
I know I was just like the one class online that like it was so weird. And so
Yeah.
I like stopped doing my homework for it. And then I was not gonna pass it. So he like gave me extra credit if I like did a side project. And so then I started sewing. And he was like,
Okay.
okay, I'll give you an extra credit point for each bikini you make. And he was like, oh, extra credit point for each one. So then I made like a ton of them trying to get extra credit.
And she made them reversible so that it would count for like
Yeah.
2 points or whatever.
That's
And so then, yeah, so that's like why it started being reversible. and and so then I wanted to make one because like it turned out cute. And we were like using like our mom's old sewing machine, like
yeah.
dusted it off from whatever, the 90s, I don't know. And so then I wanted to make one, and then they were kind of ugly, or they were very ugly, like really bad at first. But then we wanted to like keep making them and like find fabrics on Etsy, and we had no idea what we were doing. And then a couple of our friends were like, "Wait, make me one, make me one." And we were like, "Really?" And so then we ended up doing that, and just like started an Instagram kind of for fun. We were still living at home, and then we kind of just kept going with it. And then what, like maybe a month later, at the end of 2020, we were like, okay, we should move out of our parents' dining room. If we want to keep doing this, we should like game plan. Um, so then we wound up moving to Hawaii to try and do it full time and just kind of have a bit more credibility, like being by the beach, just like
Yeah.
have a better avenue for growth besides our parents' like desert front yard for photos and stuff. Um, and then it's just kind of gone from there. And it's funny that you found us on TikTok because TikTok really is like what kickstarted our ability to be doing this full time. Like we had one video go viral a couple years ago, and that really like set us on our trajectory.
But what was so cool about your time in Hawaii was how you guys were selling your bathing suits. It was you were literally having like pop-ups on the side of the road just in random places. Was that like did you just not have a place to go? What was the plan there? How did you could just set that up?
Literally no plan.
No plan.
It was
We like we didn't know anyone. First of all, we had zero
Yeah.
friends, zero connections, zero idea of like what are cool places that people go. Like we had no earthly clue. And we saw this like literal patch of land on the side of the road near our house that was like flat and had like multiple it was like kind of at an intersection. So we were
Yeah.
like, oh, there were multiple roads. Like, who knows? It's only like, it was like what, 4 minutes away from our house. So we were
Right
like,
on.
okay, let's just like screw around and do it. And worst case, literally no one stops. And then we just go home and it's whatever. Um, and we wound up meeting a few of our neighbors, a bunch of like random people that we ended up being friends with. Like it was a photographer came, yeah, and then she's ended up doing 2 photo shoots for us. Yeah, she's done 2 photo shoots for us ever since, and she just happened to pull over on the side of the road and see us. So it was like a really random, like no helped us establish a bit more roots on the island.
We did some in other places in Hawaii too on the side of the road, and we fully got kicked out. Like they were like, you can't be here selling merchandise. And
Twice,
like,
2 different places. They were like, you don't have a vending license. We were like, that's true.
True. We're just gonna pack up now and go.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, it's okay. We're leaving.
Now, from Hawaii to California, what spurred that move back onto the mainland?
I think we were kind of just ready to be closer to like family and friends and sort of just, I don't know, Hawaii was just far. It never really felt like home necessarily. Like we had so many great friends there, but it was like a big vacation, which was awesome, but a bit more mobility options. And we wound up in Southern California pretty randomly. Like we didn't have any idea where in California we wanted to be,
Right.
and we kind of just picked Newport on a map and
Okay.
wound up here.
It's fantastic. And now, what is such an extreme amount of growth that you've seen not only on your social channels, but your suits are now in an actual shop in California. You actually have a retailer that you sell to. What has it been like to see this growth for the two of you?
You go. I've been talking a lot.
You go. I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's been awesome. Like it gets overwhelming sometimes because it's like with TikTok, when a video goes viral and we get this influx of new support, new sales, new followers, it's such a cool feeling. But it is just the two of us. So sometimes we're like, oh my God, take a step back. Wow, like why are there so many people that like know of our suits? Like we made all of these by hand. When we see strangers like tagging us on Instagram or whatever, we're like, oh my gosh, like there are so many strangers that we'll never meet that like are wearing something that we made. And it's so cool. So yeah, the shop that stocks our bikinis, it's actually in Florida, but they literally just reached back out this morning for another batch of orders for spring. So that's funny timing. So yeah, it's really cool.
That's the funny thing about TikTok too. You have no planning concept on what video is going to go viral, and I've seen it happen to so many people like yourselves that a very random small video goes viral and they literally are out of stock that day.
Yep.
So I can only imagine what it's like for the two of you who are like literally doing this as a two sister show.
Definitely gets crazy. I think we this past March, or I guess that was last year at this point, it's already 2023, March of 2022, we had a big launch planned for like the very last day of March, and we randomly had a TikTok go viral like the day before. And so then when we had our big launch, we were like, I think we got like 400 orders in one night or something.
Wow.
And we were like,
we thought we were gonna get like 40.
Yeah, we literally were like, oh, let's like cross our fingers for like 50 orders. Like, and we were like, we don't even know where to begin. Like, this is so overwhelming. So our mom wound up, because our parents live in Arizona still, which is where so our mom ended up driving the 6.5 hours to us and then back to Arizona for like 4 consecutive weekends just to like help us cut orders and help us package and like, and we wound up having to like hire one of our friends part-time. TikTok is so weird.
It is. It's crazy. It's a wonder. That's the huge place where people actually make money and like run businesses. It's a crazy place because it doesn't take. Sometimes it takes a little time, but others their platform blows up like crazy, and so you never know what it's going to be on either.
Exactly.
Now, what I love about the brand that you two have created is your social responsibility. And so not only from the scraps of the bikinis, you guys make scrunchies, you know, you made masks at one time. how did you come up with your social responsibility in terms of what makes you guys different? Because not all brands do that. And we've seen such a big discussion with that. How did you two come to create that plan?
Really wasn't ever a talked about thing. It was more just like that's our values as people. And
Love
if
it.
we're starting a brand and putting a product out into the world,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no reason that it shouldn't be in line with our values and our
Like,
personal ethics. So, and we both studied like sustainability, environmental studies, social justice in college.
yeah.
Um, so that's just like very important to us in any brand that we look to shop at.
Yeah.
And we never be promoting a brand that that didn't
Yeah.
align with our values, much less create one.
Yes.
So it really wasn't a concerted effort at all, or like a conscious decision. It was more just like if we're gonna put a product out there, like it's gonna be ethical. There's just
Love it.
it's gonna be sustainable. There's no alternative. So,
Yeah.
and I definitely wish all brands like had something like that, but I think with like sort of an increase in just sort of shopping slower, it's becoming more and more prevalent, which is
Yeah.
really fun to see. But
Yeah.
yeah, for us, it just was like no brainer.
Now this is not a very serious question. I live with my sister, so I'm very interested to hear the two of your perspective. What is it like having a business with your sister? And Shannon, I want you to answer this question too, honestly.
Yeah, Shannon,
What
this
is
one's
it
yours.
like owning and operating a business together as sister? Because the two of us, we chomp at heads some days. Some days I don't have a good day, and she just decides to come, and that's what happens. And some days she has a bad day as well. So what is it like as sisters having this business together?
Well, on good days it's great, and on bad days it's horrible.
Yeah.
And then we also live together, so there's no escape.
We
Mallory's like,
thankfully,
like a silent death stare as you answer that question.
no. We have a roommate. One of my friends from college lives with us, so it definitely helps. I think it helps separate things a bit because it is a lot of
The
together
two
time.
of you all the
Yes,
time. Yeah.
yes, yeah. In Hawaii, we lived together, just the two of us. Our sewing workshop was our living room, and we shared a car. So it was like
Wow.
it was tough, but now we've got a bit more space, but
And 2 cars.
and two cars, yeah, and an extra roommate. So and our own sewing room. So we
Things are
have
working
yeah, we have
out.
precautions.
There's a little bit more space for both of you.
Yes, yes,
I love
but
it.
for the most part, it's really nice.
What makes this fun for the two of you? What about owning a business like this makes it fun for the two of you?
I think for me, it's like the creativity,
Yeah.
like just we're literally in charge of it. And so no one's telling us what to do.
Yeah.
No one's like stifling any vision that we have. It's really just like we can just experiment with whatever we want whenever we want.
Yeah.
And whether that's like on social media or like the actual product or
Right.
testing new products or the actual fabric designs, like anything we want,
Yeah.
we can make it happen. So it's really fun to just like have that level of control and be able to exercise like any random creative whim that might like enter our brain. That's my favorite. That's what makes it fun for me. What's yours?
Well, that and like making our own hours and like being able to like work at home, like in pajamas with my dog,
Yes.
make breakfast whenever we want.
I can tell you, I work from home as well. I have a job in corporate America, and I am so happy that nobody can see anything from the waist down because most of the time I am in pajama pants because it is just the comfiest thing, and it's the best
Yep,
thing.
as you should be.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the very serious question of growth for this year and looking forward, what are you guys looking forward to? What are your goals?
I think we have a lot of goals for this year with like collaborations, like
Oh,
utilizing other like small businesses. We've made so many connections just through social media with other
yeah,
like awesome women run small businesses.
love that.
So I think doing like some more partnerships and collabs and events. We have a couple events that we're like
Very
excited
fun.
for in baby stages. A lot's in baby stages, but I sort of work across sectors with other small businesses and I don't know. We have so many ideas. It's hard to hone in sometimes, but
Yes.
definitely hoping for like a lot of fun partnerships this year.
How do you guys plan for the different seasons? I know you just said your retailer reached out to you for more stuff for spring. Do you have collections you roll out, or do you just have basic styles and things that you roll with and change patterns?
We do kind of like different drops, like fabric drops, kind of as the seasons go, like what fabrics are not like trendy, but what's gonna like fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will definitely be like bigger launches in spring and summer and smaller ones in winter.
Yeah.
But then, like we were saying earlier, like TikTok is so unpredictable that this winter it just like popped off again.
Oh, I'm sure.
So now we're having a bunch of orders, and we thought it was going to be a slow season. So
never know.
Yeah. Don't take it for granted either, because you never know. Like you said, you can go through another slow season.
Yep. That's scary, but it's fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited to see what you guys drop this year and what collaborations you guys do. For both of you, you have so many really cool styles, and I was looking through you guys' products and all the names that you guys have for everything. For both of you, is there a favorite of what your go-to bikini is to wear from your collections?
I always wear the pearl top.
Okay.
And the Walden bottoms.
Okay.
And I'm Walden bottoms and Cocoa top pretty much always. We definitely have our go-tos whenever we make our own. Like if a fabric comes in that we're obsessed with, we immediately start making our own. It's pretty much always the exact same styles.
Do you guys get the first dibs? We're like first dibs on this before this goes to anybody else. We're gonna take this first.
Honestly, no, we never do. It's more so what happens is like we realize that we're almost at the end of a fabric and we're like, oh my God, we forgot to make one for ourselves. Like we need to make one quick before it's gone. Like that's what always happens.
Now, are your personal bikini collections getting a little extreme where you're like, we don't have any room left anymore for anything else?
Definitely.
Overflowing.
Definitely.
That's the beautiful part, I'm sure, about living in California, though. There's never a shortage.
And they go to good use.
Yeah.
They're not just sitting around. They're being used.
I was saying, or if there's like a fun like beach day or like event coming up, we'll like make one special like specifically for it. So then there's just like all these random ones that aren't even fabrics we sell, but that are bikinis that we were making for something.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure as business owners, you kind of remember kind of milestones and different dates and things throughout. Do you guys remember where your first order went to?
Somewhere in Arizona.
Not a clue.
We were dropping them off on people's doorsteps because it was friends from Arizona. We were driving them and dropping them off.
That's cool. A little personal delivery for everybody.
We probably could look in the very first.
That's true. We honestly could look. Yeah, we could figure it out.
That's awesome. Very cool. I'm sure everybody loved that personal touch of, hey, Mallory and Shannon are delivering bathing suits personally to everybody in Arizona.
Yep, pretty much.
My last and really final question for you guys is just what inspires each of you?
Ooh,
I love the sickness on everybody at the end. I'm like, here you go. Here's the hard one.
Oh, Shannon, you go first. This is a hard one, Danielle. This is a hard hitter. Okay, well, I feel like, and you can't copy me. I feel like I'm inspired by other brands and other like creators and just people in general who prioritize like sort of getting outside and doing things with friends out in nature and like having a good time and doing things in a way that's like good for the planet and sort of just like the harmony between like, I don't know, I'm not explaining this very well, but sort of just the harmony between like, sustainability and like doing business a certain way and like enjoying nature and all it has to offer. And so I feel like I'm inspired to sort of harness that. Shannon, what inspires you?
And you can't copy Mallory, apparently.
No.
I don't know. I definitely just like being outside.
That's literally copying me.
I don't know. My dog.
Well, coming off Mallory's, now I have another question. Were there competitors or major swimwear brands that you really looked really hard at when creating your brand when you kind of got into it, or did you really just pay no mind to anybody else?
Honestly, we didn't really pay any mind to like big
Big
brands or
ones.
competitors. We more like looked a lot at like other sort of small business and just sort of like their vibe and how it compared to like sort of what we wanted our vibe to be. And that,
Yeah,
but honestly, there was never really that much comparison or like competition. I mean, there are just like so many people who want bikinis that it doesn't, we're not really super worried about there being like competitors because I feel like there's a bikini for everyone. And if ours isn't your style, there are so many other awesome
yeah,
bikini brands out there that probably are. So I feel like we kind of just did our thing. And I mean, we've obviously gathered inspiration from a
absolutely.
lot of different people along the way, but overall, kind of paid no mind.
Love it. I love it. I love when you just go and do your own thing to your own tune and don't pay anybody else any attention at all.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went.
Love it. I love it. Well, Mallory and Shannon, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on and talking with me today. If you guys have not checked out Black Dog Bikinis, go check them out. Get yourself a bikini and follow along on their journey. And Mallory and Shannon, I can't wait to see your drops this year and all your collaborations. I'm excited for it.
Thank you,
Thank
Danielle. Thanks
you.
so much for
Yeah.
having us. This was so fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was nice meeting you.
absolutely. Absolutely. And as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.